30 years of joyfulness. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The Midday News is live on Joy 99.7 FM, Hits 103.9 FM here in Accra. We're also live on Love 99.5 in Kumasi and myjoyonline.com. Also live in all 16 regions of Ghana via our various affiliates. Live on X Spaces and Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy. Energizing dreams coming up. The Office of the Special Prosecutor pursues high-ranking officials of the National Petroleum Authority suspected of using their positions to defraud the state of over 1.3 billion cedis.
We will brief you in detail in respect of who did what, who acquired what, and what has been recovered.
Well, we'll tell you those caught in the web. Also this afternoon, letters from the Mayo Clinic in the U.S. reveals the embattled former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is on treatment for prostate cancer. The Office of the Special Prosecutor says it has not been shown any such evidence.
Mr. Ofori-Atta has failed to show any medical report. I underline, he has failed to show any medical report which suggests that he is a travel risk and unable to return to the jurisdiction by reason of his medical condition.
Also coming up, President Mahama expresses optimism that Asantehene's mediation in decades-old Boko conflict will lead to lasting peace.
You are helping to pave the way towards enduring peace in one of the most fragile areas of our republic. I wish you well in this endeavor, and we all have confidence that lasting peace will come to Boko.
In sports,
Mohamed Kudus will not be defending his Player of the Year award at this year's Ghana Football Awards. Thomas Partey, Antoine Semenyo, and Iñaki Williams have made the shortlist.
Also coming up,
we've not been able to find the body. We've been up and down
on that, but when the rain stopped, so the following morning, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., it didn't come.
relatives who lost their loved ones on June 3rd, 2015. 10 years on, many of the survivors say they get terrified at the sight of clouds gathering.
After, I think, 2 or 3 days later, when I hear a loud sound like, let's say, generator or somebody shouting, hey, 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 then I remember, then I panic. It makes me remember that incident.
We have more on that as the chairman and ranking members on the Waxen Housing Committee trade accusations on the implementation of recommendations of the June 3 investigative committee report.
Unfortunately, securing the money up to date, not much has been done so far.
I am not sure what allegations anybody has about the Western Housing Ministry and the Ofori-Atta and Gary.
We have details of that. Also this afternoon, Mpox continues to spread across the country, with the Ghana Health Service confirming 26 new cases, bringing the total number of recorded infections to 45 since the outbreak. These and more with me, Maame Thompson. This is Joy News, independent, fearless and credible. Stay for details. And this afternoon, the Office of the Special Prosecutor is expected to file criminal charges by the end of June against senior officials of the National Petroleum Authority (NPA) and some oil marketing companies over an alleged 1.3 billion cedis corruption scheme. The offences reportedly occurred between 2022 and 2024. In February 2025, the OSP launched a probe into former NPA CEO Mustafa Abdul Hamid for his alleged role in the embezzlement of funds from the Unified Petroleum Pricing Fund. At a news briefing yesterday, Special Prosecutor Kesie Jabing disclosed that investigators have traced properties believed to have been acquired with the stolen funds.
The OSP investigation has revealed that between 2022 and 2024, some high-ranking and other officials of NPA devised and implemented a corrupt scheme of using public office for profit through threats, intimidation, coercion, suggestions, bribery, and inordinate regulatory duress to obtain for their personal benefit large sums of money from oil marketing companies and other entities under their statutory regulatory, licensing, oversight and monitoring mandate in the petroleum downstream industry. As at the close of business on 30 May 2025, the OSP had uncovered, through tracing and trailing, an amount of 280,516,127 cedis and 19 pesos, being proceeds of the corrupt scheme, some of which has been used by the perpetrators to acquire identified and traced apartments, suites, houses in country and abroad, 22 fuel haulage trucks, and the incorporation, acquisition, and operation of oil marketing companies to compete with the oil marketing companies they were regulating. The OSP, before the end of June, would file criminal charges against the first batch of the perpetrators and complicit oil marketing companies and their officials. Upon filing, we will brief you in detail in respect of who did what, who acquired what, and what has been recovered.
You heard Special Prosecutor Kisieja being there giving updates on the NPA scandal. Joining me on this is my colleague Elton Brobe with more on this. Elton, who are those caught in the web?
Well, I mean, it's difficult to confirm the names now, but what we are picking is that they are looking at 3 individuals or even more. Now, this scandal, as the OSP describes it, happened between 2022 and 2024. And already, as you may be aware, in February 2025, that's this year, the OSP announced that it had launched an investigation into the former Chief Executive Officer of the NPA, Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid, over his alleged involvement in the embezzlement of 1.3 billion Ghana cedis from the Unified Petroleum Pricing Fund. Now, what we are picking is that some individuals, about 3 of them, they are already aware of the cases against them, and at the end of the month, the OSP, they put them before court to answer for their roles in this embezzlement. The names we are picking, it's not clear whether these are the exact names that the OSP is working, but sources close to the office tells us that they are looking at one Frida Tando, who is an NPA staff. It's unclear whether she's still working at the NPA. And there's also Wendy Ashon, a Newman, also a staff of the National Petroleum Authority. So these individuals, these are the names that we have so far gleaned from the corridors of power as possible individuals involved in this amount of money. It is also unclear whether the 280.5 million Ghana cedis recovered from the OSP, as far as Mr. Kisieja is concerned, that news company yesterday, relates to any of these individuals. The properties, we are told, some are in Ghana, some are abroad. They are also looking forward to confiscate them as part of investigation ongoing into this particular 1.2 billion cedi scandal.
Right. Thank you so much, Elton, for those updates. Well, still on the OSP, letters from the Mayo Clinic obtained by Joy News revealed that former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is undergoing treatment for prostate cancer. The special prosecutor yesterday reactivated Mr. Ofori-Atta's name on the wanted list after his lawyers failed to produce him for interrogation by the agreed June 2 deadline. Now, facing multiple corruption allegations, including those linked to the National Cathedral saga, Mr. Ofori-Atta has informed the Special Prosecutor's Office that he requires more time at the Mayo Clinic for surgery scheduled for June 13. However, Special Prosecutor Kisieja says no medical evidence has been provided to confirm that Mr. Ofori-Atta cannot travel to Accra.
This much is clear. Since 24 January 2025 till date, Mr. Ofori-Atta has failed to show any medical report. I underline, he has failed to show any medical report which suggests that he is a travel risk and unable to return to the jurisdiction by reason of his medical condition. It has all been his say-so, his singular say-so. The OSP redeclares that Mr. Ofori-Atta is a wanted person and a fugitive from justice. His name is hereby re-entered on the OSP's list of wanted persons. The OSP will take all necessary legal steps to secure Mr. Ofori-Atta's return to the jurisdiction and to answer to the criminal inquiries against him.
Well, Joy News has seen details of the said medical letter explaining reasons for which Mr. Ofori-Atta is unable to travel to Accra. And my colleague Blessed Suga joins us with details of the letter. Blessed, what does it say?
There's a letter signed by Ahmed Abdul Rahim from the section of International Medicine at Rochester. And of course, the indication we're getting is that the information is going to whoever it may be concerned that Mr. Ofori-Atta has undergone an MRI guided biopsy, and also the indication is that he's been diagnosed with prostate cancer. This is what this letter is saying. We do not know if indeed that is the case, because obviously it pertains to the health of Mr. Ofori-Atta himself. He'll be in a better position to clarify that for us. But beyond that, the letter is indicating that a surgical intervention has also been deemed necessary, and all of this processes, according to the letter, will be complete on June 13. And so that's the indication we are getting, and we understand that one Dr. Paras from India will be the one scheduled to carry out the medical procedure.
Right.
This later.
Right. But there's been another response from the OSP on the
The
letter.
OSP is basically reinstating his position, indicating that no such letter has been brought before his attention.
Right.
He's also insisting that there's no indication in terms of evidence to buttress the points that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta cannot make that trip to Accra.
Right. Thank you so much, Blessed Suga. Meanwhile, lawyers for Ken Ofori-Atta say the special prosecutor lacks the technical expertise to determine if the medical letter contains sufficient grounds for his inability to travel. Lawyer Frank Davis says Kisejabing ought to focus on his legal pursuit instead.
I would just say this to the Office of the Special Prosecutor, that he should stick to his core duties as a special prosecutor and as a trained lawyer. I don't know when he became a medical practitioner to be giving interpretations to biopsy tests and all that he said. He's a legal practitioner. He should stick to his core duties.
Well, joining me on this is Dr. Insia Sari, former Director General of the Ghana Health Service. We're grateful for your time on the Midday News. So, is this letter from the Mayo Clinic stating Mr. Ofori-Atta's condition alone enough justification of his inability to travel back to Accra?
The letter I've seen there is from Mayo Clinic. The letter from Mayo Clinic is stamped Mayo Clinic authentic document dated, signed by the attending physician.
Dr. Siasari, I beg your pardon. If you could reposition yourself, we're unable to hear you properly.
Hello?
Much better. Yes, much better.
I said that I've seen the medical report which has been circulated. If that's a report that the OS is talking about.
Yes.
It has a letterhead from Mayo Clinic.
Yes.
And as authored by the attending and the attending physician.
I'm still losing you. Your line is breaking. Kindly, once again, reposition yourself so we can get the best from what you're telling us.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, what I'm saying is that I've seen a letter which is circulating on social media of a medical report from Mayo Clinic.
Yes, yes.
Mayo Clinic letterhead, signed and stamped by the attending physician. I think that should be enough.
Right.
If he thinks that he has a problem with it as a special prosecutor, if you just take a phone or use the Ghana embassy in the US to cross-check for him from Mayo Clinic. It's as simple as that.
Well, in a situation like this, I mean, there's been the concern that could Mr. Ofori-Atta at least with some form of coordination between Ghana and the US transfer his treatment here to the capital so that he can be treated here equally. I mean, can this case not receive equal care here in Ghana?
But he's being treated already over there, so why should he be transferred here to receive his treatment?
Well, as a result of the situation ongoing, at least, so he's here and then he can attend also to the interrogation by the OSB.
So if Mr. Ofori-Atta was your father or your uncle or somebody, will you give this advice? I'm just asking.
We're just trying to understand the situation. I mean, if it is possible that some form of coordination can be done so that treatment can be given him here.
It's already been under management at Mayo Clinic. So that should be. And if anybody has any problems of it, you should deal with the doctors who are there to find out if he's fit to travel. The doctor should be able to tell the special prosecutor. If he's not fit to travel and there's other means of interrogating him, it can be done. So now with the digital world that we are in, you can easily interrogate anybody by Zoom. You can do interviews by Zoom and all sorts of things by Zoom so that you can talk to the person. If there's any documentation, his lawyers are here, and I'm sure he will pass through his lawyers to give to them. But if somebody is sick, first and foremost, it's important to manage the person properly. As a doctor, that's what if he's my doctor, that's what I would advise him to do.
Right. We're grateful for your time, Dr. Nsiah Sari, former Director General of the Ghana Health Service. Now, moving on, President John Mahama has expressed confidence in the ability of the Asantehene Otumfuo-Assetu II to resolve the decades-old Boko conflict and bring lasting peace to the area. Speaking during a courtesy visit by the Asantehene to the presidency, President Mahama also narrated how, at a time when he had made up his mind to quit politics, Otumfuo-Assetu II played a pivotal role in convincing him to reconsider and accept to be the running mate of the late Professor John Evans Atta Mills. Presidential Affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba reports from the Jubilee House.
A retinue of chiefs enters the banquet hall of the Jubilee House as the Asantehene Otumfuo-Assetu II makes his way to the auditorium. It is his first visit to the presidency following the election of President John Mahama. In politics, as in life, some relationships go beyond official titles and formal handshakes. And in the case of President John Mahama and the Asantehene, it is built in childhood memories and life-changing decisions. It was during a courtesy call to the Jubilee House that President Mahama offered a rare personal glimpse into his decade-old friendship with the Asantehene.
A little boy growing up in Ringway Estate, Susu. My father's house was directly opposite Nana Eduhene's house. And so Nana Eduhene's children, Kojobo Chio, Kwame Nkrumah, and all of them were our friends. Nana Eduhene's nephews that he was bringing up were Ato Ahoy and Kwame Ahoy and all of them. And so they used to come on holidays from school and spend holidays there. And then there was another of Nana's children who used to come and spend holidays. We used to come Kweku. It turned out to be... They were slightly older than us. We were younger. And so they used to send us to buy ice cream and all kinds of things for them. And they used to come during vacations. Later, when I became a minister and were installing the next Otumfuo after Opokuwari died, they installed Nana Osetu II. I said, but this is Eduhene, Oye Sefini. Oye Denkoye. Oya then koya Asantehene. Say she fought me di Asante Akunyana. Then Nana told me a story, and then it fitted the jigsaw puzzle together. Apparently, his uncle sent him to Nana Eduhene's palace to be groomed as a king. So our relationship goes back to when I was a child.
President Mahama says that at a time when he had decided to walk away from politics entirely, it was Otumfuo who stepped in, who spoke to him, guided him, and convinced him to accept the offer to become Professor Atta Mills' running mate.
The first time, Professor Mills sent Bafo Boni of blessed memory and a team to come and tell me that he wanted me to be his running mate. And at that time, I had made my plans to leave politics. So my response was, no, I won't do it. So later, he sent Ato Ahoy and Totobi Kwachi and Kwamina to come and ask me to accept to be his running mate. Again, I said no. And so one day I was in Accra, I got a call. It says, Otumfuo wants you in Malaysia. Who am I to refuse? So I got up and went. And when I went, I said, hey, when you say, Professor Bill say, but yeah, Nabedi chain, Nabedi vice president, I will say there be. Hey, oh boy. He says, when your country calls you, you can't refuse.
Well, President Mahama also praised the Asantehene's leadership, expressing confidence in his potential to broker lasting peace in Boko.
Once again, at a critical time of our nation's history, you've stepped forward to assist our nation in another moment of great need. Your Majesty's ongoing efforts to mediate the Boko conflict, though complex and challenging, offer our country a renewed sense of hope. Through quiet diplomacy and cultural sensitivity and unwavering resolve, you are helping to pave the way towards enduring peace in one of the most fragile areas of our republic. I wish you well in this endeavor, and we all have confidence that lasting peace will come to Boku. Your Majesty, as President of the Republic, I want to assure you and all traditional authorities of this government's commitment to work in full partnership with the institution of chieftaincy. We do not see traditional leadership as relics of the past, but as essential partners in shaping our nation's future. It is in this spirit that we have revived the work of the Constitutional Review Implementation Committee. The review will explore how to better incorporate the wisdom, authority, and development roles of chiefs into our national governance architecture without compromising the non-partisan character of our traditional leadership.
President John Mahama there. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joe 99.7 FM. We'll take a break. We'll return with sports and also...
Yes, we've not been able to find the body. We've been up and down.
On that, but when the rain stopped, so the following morning, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., it didn't come.
You heard the voices of relatives who lost their loved ones on June 3rd, 2015. 10 years on, many of the survivors say they get terrified at the sight of the clouds gathering.
After, I think, 2 or 3 days later, when I hear a loud sound like, let's say, generator or somebody shouting, hey, 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 then I remember, then I panic. It makes me remember that incident.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
When I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth with Kale Charcoal toothpaste. This gives me confidence all day.
Anytime you meet Amma, don't be surprised I smile showing my beautiful white teeth because I don't have cavity thanks to Kale Charcoal toothpaste for its natural charcoal properties. In fact, we are like twins. I can't go without my Kale Charcoal toothpaste.
That be why I dey use Kale Charcoal toothpaste morning and night when I dey go bed safe. It dey make my teeth white when it dey comot every scent from my mouth inside. My confidence level they go up, so I dey show my 32 teeth all.
Introducing the Kale Charcoal toothpaste, formulated with activated bamboo charcoal powder, ensures whiter teeth and removes bad breath. The strong natural property of the activated bamboo charcoal removes bacteria, absorbs surface stains on our teeth caused by coffee, wines, and tobacco. Welcome, Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Kale Charcoal toothpaste, Sankofa Yenchi.
Kale, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Dear parents and wards, here are guidelines for school selection. Candidates who wish to enter SHS or TVET schools must, with guidance from their parents or guardians and school authorities, select 7 schools in total, 5 main, 2 alternative schools. Your 5 main schools should be ranked in order of preference, with the first being the most preferred choice. Your 2 alternative schools should be selected from Appendix 3 for consideration if not placed in any of your 5 main choices. Select programs and residential preferences for each choice of school, 3 boarding and 2 day. Candidates may select one Category B school as boarding and another Category B school as day. Candidates may select one Category C school as boarding and another Category C school as day. Note that a candidate placed in any of their choices will not be changed. Please note that candidates cannot choose more than one school from Category A. They cannot select more than 2 schools from Category B. They may select all 5 schools from Category C, 3 boarding, 2 day, and candidates who wish to offer purely TVET programs must select all 5 TVET institutions from Categories A, B, and C as day or boarding. Candidates who wish to offer program choice about future job prospects such as engineers, physicians, astronauts, etc. must select STEM or science in all 5 choices from Categories A, B, and C as day or boarding. The school selection form must be signed off by a parent or guardian and submitted to the head teacher of the JHS attended. Kindly note that parents or guardians must keep a copy of the school selection form.
Welcome back to the Midday News. We have sports.
Well, Mohamed Kudus will not be defending his Player of the Year award because he did not make into the final three of the Ghana Football of the Year awards. Instead, Antoine Semenyo, Thomas Partey and Iñaki Williams are in the running for the prize. In the women's category, Mercy Beko of Police Ladies and Doris Buidua are among the nominees for the Female Footballer of the Year, while Mohamed Salah of Egypt, Morocco's Ashraf Hakimi and Sergio Horassi of Guinea are in the running for the Best African Player of the Year. Felix Romak is a board member of the Ghana Football Awards.
It's special because it's another year and it's the 7th edition, and we believe that for the past 6 years it's been good. It is always challenging when you have another year because you want to improve on what's the 6th edition. So we are trying to improve last year's award, and that's the reason why this time around we've renamed some categories like the Thumbs Up to the Football Impact Award. We've brought in Football for Goods Awards as well. So we are looking forward to have a very good year in the 7th edition.
Well, the Ghana Football Awards will be live on Joy Prime on the 14th of June.
Thank you very much. Well, let me take you back to the earlier story on the Ken Ofori-Atta's condition with the OSP. And we earlier spoke to Dr. Isiasari, former Director General of the Ghana Health Service, on Ken Ofori-Atta's condition. Well, we have on the line Director of Strategy and Research Communication Division of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Sami Darko, joining us with a reaction to what the former Director General of Ghana Health Service said. Sami, what will be your reaction to what Dr. Isiasari had to say on Ken Ofori-Atta's condition?
Well, the short answer is that I think that his reaction is just based on one-side information. And the whole matter is that the purported letter being sent around was not submitted to the OSP. It was rather leaked through Asasi Radio and all over the place after the OSP had re-entered him on the wanted list. So if you ask the doctor, he will tell you that from what he has seen, maybe something should have been banned, but that's not even the issue. And we're thinking that the media would have put it to him that this letter was not presented to the OSP. And secondly, the issue is about whether he is incapacitated. And when we say incapacitated, we mean that is Mr. Ofori-Atta so sick that he cannot be on a plane to come to Ghana and go back? Has a doctor said that reported letter they are circulating, has it been written that he cannot travel? Who was it addressed to? Mr. Ofori-Atta told the whole of Ghana that he was going to have a surgery on 22nd March. Between 22nd March and 28th May, nothing happened. Why did he not come to Ghana? So that's what we are looking at. And all we are saying is that we are convinced that he simply does not want to avail himself. It has nothing to do with the fact that whether we even doubt that he is sick or not.
Right. We're grateful for your time, Sami Darko. He's the Director of Strategy, Research and Communication Division of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Well, moving on, a decade after the fire and flood occurred at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, some survivors tell Joy News the horrors of the event continues to haunt them as torrential rains pounded the capital. The deadly combination of flood and fire killed 154 people. Hundreds of individuals caught in the downpour and rising floodwater had sought shelter at the fuel station. But as water levels surged, fuel leaked from the station and floated across the surface. In a flash, a spark triggered a massive explosion, engulfing the area in flames. Super Morning Show host Kojo Yankson was at the spot and shares a recap of events that happened that night.
Kwame Nkrumah Circle has lots of landmarks, including this tall building I am describing, the GCB Tower. It has about 11 floors and it's got some communication poles on top of it. And this is a very visible landmark from miles and miles away. Right next to GCB Tower is ground zero of the June 3 disaster. Today, 10 years later, you can see that the site that used to house the Goyle filling station is still surrounded by fencing since the filling station was demolished. It's been a decade and nothing has been built to replace it. The Goyle filling station was packed, but not just because people needed fuel. It was because people needed shelter. People who simply couldn't make it through the neck-high water to their homes and offices. The unfortunate tragedy was that a fuel tanker had arrived there just before the rains began to dislodge fuel into the massive reservoirs that are beneath the filling station.
Well, some relatives who searched and never found their loved ones spoke to Journeys.
Years on, we've not been able to find the body, and we've been up and down. So we haven't received the reports. So the question still remains, where is the DNA report?
No, from so moko akramo. Around 9 something of so much cycle. So I so on the season, you see, I try to 5 o'clock. I shouldn't say on that fateful day, 9 p.m., one of the son, the elders, called and says at the circle. So when the rain stops, she will come back. But when the rain stopped, so the following morning, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., he didn't come.
Well, Kojo also spoke to some survivors who say the fear of the day still lingers on after a decade.
I think 2 or 3 days later, when I hear a loud sound, like a sound of, let's say, generator, or somebody shouting, hey, 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 then I remember, then I panic. It makes me remember that incident, because that time people were panicking, people were shouting, screaming and all that. So when I hear something like that, it reminds me of that incident. I know somewhere else or other places when it's raining, especially in the night, you feel good. That is where you have to enjoy your sleep, you see. But here, the moment it gets cloudy, then you begin to, you don't feel good.
Well, you had survivors of the June 3rd disaster, and we pray it never happens again. Well, we go to what's trending, and I have Jackie and Adobia in the studio with me. What's trending, Jackie and Adobia?
Well, Maame, I see the June 3rd is also trending on social media, with netizens sharing their their memories that day, where they were at on that day. But then away from that, we also have former finance minister and the OSP trending. Adobia, some comments?
Yes. Someone says so much is happening and happening so fast, just like how we like it in the town. I think that was very interesting. And then someone says June goes sweet rough. That's all. I mean, they're talking about OSP a lot. So
yes. Thank you, girls, for the updates on what's trending. That's how we end the bulletin here on Joe 99.7 FM. I am Maame Thompson, living word.